Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I'm going to do another velocity banking review. And we're going to also talk about the number one problem you'll probably have as a rich person. So in this channel, I also like to talk about rich people problems versus poor people problems. And the biggest difference between a poor person problem, and again, I used to be poor. I used to make 20 grand a year for like 3 years, and that was probably the most scariest moment of my life because my mom was like, "You got to come back to California because you're an idiot, right? What are you doing there making 20 grand a year?" And I was like, "Man, she's right. What am I doing here?" And now I have a paid off home under 3 years, so now I have rich people problems. So the biggest difference is that if you have rich people problems, it's like they're kind of annoying problems you want solved, but you can still sleep at night. So the last rich people problem that I had was that when I applied for a business credit card, the bank actually wrote that we rejected you because you have too much credit. That's a rich people problem. So let me actually start off with this, okay? The biggest rich people problem that you have is that you'll just have too much free time because everyone else is in the rat race. You ever wonder how I'm able to make so many of these YouTube videos? Like, you ever wonder that? It's because I have rich people problems, right? Everyone else is all stuck in the rat race, and so they have no time. This is why when I tell people, like, hey, go make some YouTube videos, they can't do it because they're too stressed out, right? Whereas, they have, I don't want to say poor people problems, but I kind of like to say that just to kind of to emphasize, like, that's the type of problems you have. But when you have rich people problems, like, it's kind of annoying, but whatever. And you know what's funny? Sometimes if you just make little changes and tweaks in your behavior, you could easily go from poor people problems to rich people problems, right? 2 days ago, I took an Uber, and the lady who drove me was an immigrant from Ethiopia, and she told me how proud she was because she's been working so hard, and she bought real estate in 2017, and she's working hard to show her kids that hard work pays off, and her kids are going to college soon. And I absolutely agree with her. I really like the vibe and tone that she was giving me. But one of the things that she told me was that number one, she had a business, but she had to shut it down. But I can't imagine that it's necessarily because the business was bad, because she said she ran a coffee shop in like downtown LA or something like that. I don't know the exact details. And number two, she told me she had over $500,000 of equity, $500,000 of equity, and bad credit. So if you have $500,000 of equity, because again, you could have bought real estate anywhere in like the Metro Atlanta area, and she told me she only had like $167,000 in the loan in a, let's say, 400 or $500,000 house, and now that house is worth like 800,000. I don't know the exact figures, but I remember I was calculating the ride. I was like, oh, you have over $500,000 of equity. You have more equity than I do, right? And yet she had credit issues. But if you take a look at me, I have over $280,000 in a home equity line of credit. And I asked her, hey, do you know what a home equity line of credit is? And she's like, what's that? Well, if you have equity, which is just the value of your home minus your loan, the bank will kind of lend it to you like a credit card. So, and then I showed her my banking app, and you can there's like features in most banking apps where if you just swipe, it'll show you the balances without any of the features. And so I said, look, I got a $280,000 line, and I use it for my real estate investments and help me manage my cash flow. And she was like, what? So if she had known the information that I was talking about here, I don't think she would have, again, because it's easy to manage your cash flow. The only reason that you'd really have bad credit is because you're not able to make payments and that probably last over 90 days. That's where you get the bad credit, right? And I don't know if you know this about a credit score. The credit score is usually just a measure of how, what's the probability of you being late 90 days. Okay, that's why you got bad credit. And so having bad credit doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just is more likely to say that you don't know how to manage your cash flow. And if you have a tool like a home equity line of credit, man, the possibilities are endless, and that's why it's like the Infinity Glove, the Infinity Glove. When I first had access to his $280,000 line, and right now I have a $527,000 in lines of credit. Right, 527,000. So let's get started with velocity banking. So what I know it's already been 4 minutes. Holy balls! All right. So what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy using a line of credit as your main operating account, right? Line of credit. So what's a line of credit? All it is a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay it back, and then use it over and over again. That's all a line of credit is, right? And so if you take a look here, I could literally just go to the bank's website, click a button, right? Click a button, and then they'll dump $280,000 if I have it available, right? Just one click, and they'll charge it to me at an 8% interest rate. Okay, so we're just going to assume two things. Number one is that we have access to a line of credit. Okay. Now, in order to do velocity banking, so one, we're going to have access to a line of credit. Number two, we need a budget, right? And so we kind of see, if let me go up here, we kind of see this. The income of this person is $7,000. The expenses is $6,300, and the savings is $615. Right? And so now we have 4 credit cards, an auto loan, student loan, and a mortgage, and then we have our other expenses, which is food, gas, insurance. Now, the whole point of this exercise is to make sure all of these line items go to zero. Anything debt related goes to zero to maximize our cash flow. Okay, so let me actually do this, delete this. And so we talk about the budget, and then we talk about line of credit. So line of credit, and let's actually just sum up how much credit card debt we have, which is 5 plus 8 plus 15 plus 27. Okay, so that's $55,000 of credit card debt. Okay, and then how much do we have of debt in total? So it's 55 plus the auto loan plus the student loan plus the 245K mortgage. Let's see, this shouldn't be equals plus. Whoa, oh, screwed up. So equals 55 plus 58 plus 22 plus 245. Okay, so the in total debt is 380K. 380K. Okay, so 380K. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. And we assume when we do velocity banking, we have the same income. But the shocking thing is that you're not going to have any savings. And when you tell your friends and family this, they'll be like, how dare, even though they probably have no savings and they're broke, they like the idea of it. You know what I mean? Like they don't have any savings, but you tell them, hey, I'm not going to have any savings going forward. And as a person who has never had any savings in my entire life, um, yeah. I remember my mom was just like thinking, I told her that, and she was like, you need 3 to 6 months of savings. And you know how some people are so confident in the things that they say, sometimes you doubt yourself? She's like, and I was like, yeah, maybe I do. No, and then like, wait a minute, no, that's wrong. So zero savings here, okay? And we're gonna have access to a line of credit. Now, at this point in life, would we have access to a line of credit? Well, maybe in the beginning, yes, but we can't get a new line of credit because at this stage of life, we're gonna, we're having cash flow issues. And here's a secret to banking that I'll probably go over in another video is that banks don't lend money to people who need it. So you got to make sure you get it before you need it, right? But let's just assume we had access to, I don't know, maybe like a $60,000 line of credit. And I know that some of you are like, this is unrealistic, $60,000. And again, I showed you this screenshot of 280, right? So 280. So let's go ahead and do this. So 680,000 or 60,000. And now, what is the velocity banking, our final steps of velocity banking? We're going to move some of our debts into the line of credit and make it our main operating account. So this is 55,000. So let's go ahead and move $55,000 into the line of credit. And when we do that, it's kind of like a credit card balance transfer. We're not getting rid of the debt, but we are getting rid of the payments, right? And so now we went from $615 to $2,392.70. So after every single month, right, the balance is going to go down by 2,300 something plus some change. Okay? Okay, so now let's go ahead and do this. All right. So now the next month's balance plus is the next month's interest minus 2392.7. All right, and then the interest is based on the average daily balance. Where's that little function here? Average daily balance right there, right? And then we multiply it by the interest rate, so times 0.08 divided by 12. Okay, that's how you calculate or estimate the interest. And then all you got to do is just copy and paste these figures, and wablam, kazam, shazam, then the debt will just kind of be paid off without you thinking about it. Okay, because you're going to put your entire paycheck into that line of credit, and then you take your expenses out, and then you just do it over and over again, over and over again. And so let's go ahead and highlight this right here. as a milestone. So 25 months, a little bit over two years, we paid off $55,000 of debt. So 55K of debt, and then 25 months. Wablam. Okay. Wablam and wablam. So we got that. Whoa, how do we go all the way up there? No, or all the way down there. All right, so now we got that. And oh, we gotta do, let me make this a little bit bigger. All right. Okay, so now we need to take care of the auto loan, student loan, and the mortgage. And luckily we have this loan calculator right here. So all we got to do is, if you know, right, the original balance, the interest rate, the term rate, this can auto spit the payment amount. And then it can also auto spit the current balance. So all you got to do is type in the current month, which is 25 months right here. I think it's 25 months, but because I have a memory of a fish, yeah, 25 months. I got a memory of a fish. Um, I gotta always look back at where I ended and just make sure that I didn't make any mistakes. But I gotta put 25, 25, 25 here. And now this is the current balance of the loan. And so now we have what we call the cash flow index here. And so what is that? All that means is it's just like a rank of which loan you should pay first based purely on cash flow. And so if you take a look here, would we pay 13 grand to get $430 back in our cash flow, or 48 grand to get $643 in cash flow? I'm going to pay the 13 grand because I get more bang for my buck, right? And the lower this number, below 50, that's like the ones we definitely want to pay off. Whereas if it's too high, it means if we focus on paying off this loan first, we're not going to get enough cash flow back. And so this other thing that we have to really consider too as well, okay, is that if this loan goes to full term, meaning 30 years, even actually, I don't have the interest in this version of the calculator, but you do pay an insane amount of interest. Okay, you do pay an insane amount of interest in the loan. And anybody who's done a 30-year mortgage calculation, if you have a 3% interest rate, that's about a 50% total interest paid. Okay, so I think I put that right. So 3%. All right, so now let's just do this. Copy this 13 grand because we're going to get rid of this auto loan, right? Copy this 13 grand here into the spreadsheet. Okay, and then now I'm going to copy this here, and then we're going to copy the values only. And then what we do is we just add 13690.29. So it's like transferring the balance of the auto loan into the line of credit. And then guess what we do here? This auto loan payment magically goes to zero, wablam, and now the cash flow is $2,823.50. Holy ball, lamb, balam. I gotta think of another catchphrase than holy balls, but all right. So now 823.15. Okay. And now that's our new cash flow. And let's see how long it takes us to get rid of that auto loan. And whoa, that was quick. And look at the amount of interest that we paid per month for that auto loan, right? Look at that. That's not that much. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do the next thing, which is, where's that bar? Ugh, this is why I hate simplified interfaces, because I could never get the thing that I want to appear, but it's okay. Today I'm using the web version because I'm recording out of my laptop, not my desktop. Usually I work out of desktops, but today shall be the laptop day. All right, so now, okay, right, we paid off in month 30. All right, so month 30, so 30 months, so that's 77K. Okay, 77K. All right, so now the next one we have to figure is the student loan. And let me go here, the student loan and the mortgage. So now after 30 months, let's figure out what the balances are. So this is going to be 30, this is going to be 30, and then the current balance of this is 0. And now this is 46 grand. So even if we move this balance of the student loan into the line of credit, we're not going to get that much cash flow. So if you have, let's say, a cash flow index above 50, probably best to use a chunking method. And what is a chunking method? It just means you just chop your loan into pieces. And we get pretty much all the benefits of velocity banking, which is not segregating your income, ultimate flexibility. And the most important part is you're actually going to do it. Okay. So a lot of people are like, well, why don't you just dump all your extra cash into loans? Because that's the default option, and nobody does it. If everybody did that, everybody would be mortgage free in 7 to 10 years. Almost. It's like 99.999% guaranteed, just like those antibacterial commercials. Okay. But let's just do this. For this one for now, I'm just going to move this into the line of credit, make it easy. Although, the interest savings between moving it from the line of credit to the versus doing the chopping method, chunking method, is kind of minimal. But let's just do it anyways. Okay, so now we're going to move that into the line of credit. The student loan will go to 0, and then what's our new cash flow? It's almost $3,467. Ooh. All right, so now let's just paste the formula. And so what's our new cash flow? It is 3467.07. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and copy and paste this and see. All right, now we see that in 45 months, okay, 45 months, this is all gone. Where is that bar again? I'm, I'm being confused. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think I know how to get it now. All right, so 45 months, it is all paid off. All right, cool. So now, let's just go here. So 77 plus 58. So what's 77 plus 58? I don't know, 58. And maybe we'll assume that this person has an MBA or something, because MBAs at like top private schools like over $100,000, whereas at public schools is like 40 to 80, I think. But whatever. 135K and I just forgot how many months it took. 45 months. All right, there we go. 45 months. All right, and so now we're going to do the mortgage, okay? So at 45 months, what's the balance of the mortgage? Let's just check. It's about 225. So we probably paid a lot of interest in 45 months. So let's just kind of do a quick exercise of how much of the principal we paid. So the original balance is 245 and the current balance is 225. So in 45 months, we paid about 20K of principal, right? 20K of principal. Now let's just do this for fun. If we move 20K into the line of credit, how long does it take us to pay it off? So let's just go back here and then we'll say, okay, now we'll add $20,000, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead, and again, the cash flow is the same because we haven't paid off that debt. And so it took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 5 months. So we did it in 5 months, but it took us 45 months to pay $20,000 of the principal, right? When we do it the way the bank wants us to do it, and the way that the bank makes money in this case is you just slowly chip it over time with the minimal payment, and the monthly payment is essentially just a minimal payment, although they allow you to overpay. And the reason why they know you'll never overpay because it's so inconvenient to your cash flow. It's so inconvenient. That's why a loan, it has a low interest rate because it's a one-way street, right? The interest rate in a loan represents two things, that the amount of risk you carry for the lender and the amount of access that you have. Okay? So when they make these things two-way streets, or you're able to kind of simulate a two-way street with a line of credit and a loan, you mix it a little bit up together, then you'll pay it off in no time. And that's what this chopping, chunking thing is you just kind of move some of it into a line of credit. But here's the other important thing is that you have to move it last, right? Because if we move it first, we're only getting $1,000 of cash flow. We move it last and chop it up into pieces. We'll be able to pay it off relatively quickly, and that's how I was able to pay off. Where's that screenshot? I don't even know. I have so many of these. But I paid off my mortgage under 3 years, 2 years and 9 months, I think, right? Hopefully, I'll be able to find it, and because I have so many of these posts now, I don't even know where's where. I don't even know. Where do I go? Holy bazookas. Oh, that's my catchphrase now. Holy bazookas. I like that one. Okay. Where is it? Let me just and take a look at this. Just because you have a 10% line of credit doesn't mean you're paying 10%, right? So you could see I took a screenshot from the bank. I only paid 0.9% for having borrowed $127,000. Okay? So something to think about. Where is it? I think I'm like repeating the scroll here. I hate it when YouTube does that. Um, and if not, I'll just kind of skip over to the other set. Wow, I have, oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, this is my mortgage screenshot. This is like me flexing, right? Paid it off under 3 years. Okay, so now let me go ahead and open up the Velocity Banking Calculator, figure out how long it's going to take to pay it off with the current deets/stats. So give me one moment. All right, there we go. All right, there we are. Okay, so it's the velocity banking calculator provided by Renatus, right? So this is where I originally learned velocity banking from, and something something, dark side. Actually, no, that's not it. That's from Family Guy and Star Wars. No, something something. I sell courses. I get commission, and you get this free calculator or calculator if you buy the courses, right? So I promise, probably starting from next year, I'll probably do a better job selling the stuff. But right now, I'm a little bit lazy just because I got rich people problems, and the sad fact is that when you have rich people problems, you don't really have to do a good job of selling what you would need to if you were like hungry and if that makes sense. But I'm not. Never mind. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do this. Um, so let me go ahead and dump the entire amount into the loan, that line of credit. Let's say we were able to replace the line of credit and or loan with the line of credit, and take a look at this. 5.1 years and $50,000. Okay, you might be thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. But what if we just chopped it up into little pieces? We'll say similar to your paycheck. Okay, look at this, 4.5 and 16 grand, right? So a lot of people out there on the internet, they're like promoting replacing your mortgage with first lien HELOC. For folks, a 30% credit card will actually beat that. So let me just show you this. 30,000, 22 grand, right? If I do 8%, okay, so 8%, and then I get 225,001.91, replace the mortgage, the line of credit, the 30% credit card will beat the first lien HELOC, right? So don't follow the hype on the internet just because something is a line of credit. All right, so this is 4.5 years, so let's go ahead and write that down. And so this is now 0, all right, and now this is 45 divided by 12 plus 4.5. Okay, so 8.25 years, and we are debt-free, completely debt-free after 8.25 years. That is fantastic. And so now I get to experience rich people problems, right? It's when all of your friends that you know are busy working because they're not debt or mortgage free. And so now they have to work because they have to work because they have to, not because they want to, right? I want you to be here. Rich people problems. I got here in about 3 years of studying and then 3 years of some application and being a little bit using my noggin to help me pay off our debt, because really paying off your debt is pretty much the ultimate cheat hack in modern society, right? Like you don't have to make that much money, but in fact there's a lot of people out there who make a lot of money, and because they don't know how to manage their cash flow, they still have to work hard the rest of their lives, and that's not what we want to do, right? All right. Well, that's it for today. Okay. Well, this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And yeah, so let's create more people with rich people problems. Yeah? Okay. Well, have a great day, everybody, and good night.